Holy fucking shit, we're back. Aaron's back in the crypt.
What up?
Woo!
It's your boy.
We going. We going. It's so I guess all right, I want to start off by saying so I didn't have an episode explaining this. I just kind of released it. But and then oddly enough, I was listening to an episode of Rogan earlier with Nikki Glaser, where they kind of touched on they started talking about exactly my thoughts on it pretty much. It was weird how they talked about it, and I just had all these thoughts. But yeah, so I changed the name of the reviews to Dark Reflections. And originally it was just kind of well, I'm not really reviewing stuff. I'm just talking about shit that I like. And so what's another word for review? So I literally thesaurused it and found reflection. And I thought lost reflections or dark reflections, something would be good there. There's something there. And then, earlier on Rogan, they're just reviews fucking ratings in general. It's all fucking subjective. It's all bullshit. So even our album of the year stuff and stuff like that, I've said it before on here, but they just drove it home for me earlier of what we're going for is just talking about shit we like and why we like it. You know what I mean? If people relate to it, awesome.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're not actually ranking things or reviewing things. That we're just giving our opinion and how it makes us feel personally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the idea I have behind all that. Is just put I'm not trying to grade anything. I'm not trying, you know what I mean? I'm not even trying to put anything in a subgenre category or anything like that. Just fucking talk about what I like. That's literally all it really is.
Yeah.
That's why I thought Dark Reflection, we're reflecting on it as opposed to reviewing it.
I saw that and I was like, yes, that's
hell yeah.
I like that.
Hell yeah.
That's cool. Cause it it pretty much says it without saying it, kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it kind of goes along with the whole, the title of the podcast and everything. And just, I don't know. I was like, hell yeah. I like that.
Hell yeah. Well, I hope other people do too, because that was kind of my whole idea behind it was just
well, and it's kind of because when you see that, it kind of separates oh, well, this is what this is. You know, if people want to watch those, so then we can have a whole section of just reviews and stuff.
Oh, they're already all in their own playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so I just kind of wanted to, because I released that review, and in the previous episode, I hadn't talked about that name change yet, so I just wanted to kind of mention that a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess one of the main things that I want to talk to you about is that Dahlia show that we went to 1 week and 1 day ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it was just a week ago, and that shit.
Wow.
Here, I'll pull it up, actually. I got to pull up the, but yeah, so we met up at where your band, Bog Wraith, fucking, that's where they do all their shit, right? That's where you guys, practice and record everything?
Yep. That's
the Marshland studio?
Yep.
Okay. Shout out to Marshlands. So, we all met there, and then everyone from Bog Wraith went except Julian. He had to work, right? Something like that?
Yeah. Yep.
So we all went. And we walked down to the Loft, and yeah, that was fun as a mother. Going to that show with you guys specifically was fucking unreal.
Oh man,
holy shit, that was crazy. So I guess here you started off. I got to grab something real quick.
It's kind of one of the first. Well, I don't know, because we try to when shows come through here, every big ones that we all kind of want to go see. We all kind of get together and
mob up.
Yeah. And so it was cool to, just get everybody together and just kind of make a night of it and stuff and just kind of hang out or whatever. And so.
Yeah. Dude, and I never, and I'm someone who half the time, at least in the past, year or so, I'm going to fucking shows alone sometimes. So, anytime I get to go in a group of friends, there's just nothing better.
Yeah.
There's nothing fucking better.
Yeah, it was cool. Just you know, because like everybody was kind of there for like, you know, just all the same reasons and stuff, and like, you know, I feel like I guess to kind of start things, like just all the openers were sick. I liked a lot of them.
I don't know who they were. I never heard of them before that show.
Yeah.
And honestly, there was only one of them that really grabbed my attention. The other ones were still good, but one of them I was like, oh, I really like these guys.
Yeah.
I don't remember who any of them were though. They're all apparently Michigan locals, and I've never heard of any of them.
Yeah, trying to pull up the event page for it.
Here I might have. If you just go to Lost in the Dark's Instagram, because I made that post.
Oh, I got it. It's Shock Narcotic, Plague Years, and Wounded Touch were the 3 bands that opened.
And I don't even know which one it was, but one of them was just straight fucking forward thrash.
Yeah.
Like no holds bar. We are a thrash metal band.
Yeah.
And that's the one I liked a lot.
I think that was Shock Narcotic.
Okay.
They were one of the first bands that
There was the second band that played, whoever it was.
Yeah.
There was one band, and then the thrash band played, and then the next band opened for Dahlia.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fucking. So yeah, the bands were good, and then right off the bat, I'm standing in line for merch, and fucking Trevor starts walking around
Yeah.
from Dahlia, and then you guys start talking to him because he was on Omen, your first fucking album, and he like recognized you guys, and like I'm still to this day like with certain. Too much of a pussy to fucking ask for a picture or anything, but you guys are all like fucking. He's like, yeah, let's get a group picture. And fucking, I was like, holy shit, like. They know Dahlia, like that. Holy fucking shit! And then another point, the guitarist from Dahlia, Rumbo Jumbo, I don't know his.
Brian.
Brian, yeah. He was sitting at the merch booth a second, like right next to me. I was like, holy fucking shit! Holy fucking shit!
Yeah.
That's a Night King.
Oh, it's cool. It was a good time.
Dude,
just
it was
kind of hanging out and like, I don't know, like it still kind of gets me sometimes that like, you know, it's like. Can do that, like
yeah.
Just walk up and just say what's up.
Knows you and shit. Like what the fuck?
I mean, you know, to be honest, like he's as far as like front guys go for like just any band, he's probably one of the more approachable.
Absolutely.
You know?
I mean, like I was watching him, like even before he talked to you guys, like it seemed like he came out to just stand in the crowd and watch the opener. You know what I mean? Like he just seemed like I just want to, and he wasn't getting mobbed. Nobody was bothering him when he was doing that. So he's at that like almost perfect level of fame where you can like still do that at your own show, but you are going to get a lot of people asking for pictures too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was cool. Like he definitely seemed like really like, yeah, I'm just, you know, I'm a metalhead too. I'm here to chill with you guys.
Well, I wish I would have asked him like, you know, cause I'm always interested in hearing like, cause I know his catalog and like his attention to what's happening in metal and stuff is just like crazy.
Insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
I wish I would have asked him like, you know, like any like recommendations or whatever.
What have you been listening to
today?
Like, yeah, because he listens to shit that he'll post on Instagram. I'm like, what the fuck is that? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like
you find a lot of obscure kind of bands, especially from his column that's on Metal Injection.
Yeah.
Or one of the two. So
also, noting, we didn't mention this yet, this show was in fucking Lansing.
Yeah.
Lansing at the Loft. It never happens. Like the last, like okay, we do have in Lansing a music festival called Common Ground. It used to be legit back in the day. In the past 5 to 10 years, it is straight shit fire dumpster garbage.
Yeah.
Okay? It is trash.
Yeah.
Trash, okay? Fucking so not good music.
Makes me sad, really.
Really sad. And so for a long time now, we've had anyone that's into any of the kind of music we're into at all. Like even like the wild out there stuff. Like no one's coming through Lansing. If we want to go to a show, it's a 2 to 3 hour round trip minimum.
Yeah.
And it's like no questions and discussion.
I'm trying to think. I think the last time I was there, I saw Rise Against. That was the last time.
Last time at the Loft?
No, at Common Ground. It was like
Jesus.
like 2 or 3 years ago, I think. That was the last time.
Yeah, the last time I went there, I did see Snoop Dogg there in the past like 10 years. But like before that, it was You know, they would at least occasionally we'd get, you know, a fucking Cooper, Nugent, a fucking Blue Oyster Cult, Poison, Tesla. You know what I mean? Like Styx, Foreigner, fucking, you know, there were something. There was something trapped. Was there one year.
Well, it's to the point now where they don't even have like a rock night or like they used to.
No, it's all literally just country and electronic.
Yeah.
And it's not even people you've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even the popular ones.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking... blech. So, yeah, we don't have anyone coming through Lansing, like, hardly ever, with the exception of the occasional lucky strike of a goat horse show at Max. But, so for Dahlia to come is insane.
Yeah.
Like, that blew me away. They hadn't been here. They played in Lansing once before. It was 2011, so 8 years ago. And
I was at that show.
Yeah, I was not.
It was Devil's Night a couple years ago, and it was right after Ritual came out. So they played like all the good shit off Ritual. That's sick,
dude.
Oh yeah, it was Beast. Sorry,
no, go ahead.
It was Beast in the Field and Cannabis Corpse, I think.
Oh yeah, Cannabis Corpse was at that. Damn it, I love them so much.
Before I even knew who they were, it was like just kind of one of those. So it was
so fucking good. So the Loft is super tiny. It is mega small. Like, this is, I don't even know what the max capacity is, but
I want to like 500 maybe.
I was gonna guess like 3, but okay, I'll go 5.
I don't know. That's good. Yeah.
So for them, you know, to play in Lansing, to play at a small place, like all these things, it just blew me away. And then they now Dahlia is a band that I saw live before I was really into them. Like, I saw them live at almost every show I went to when I first started going to shows, because they were opening for just everyone, because they're a Michigan band, so they're going to get on every fucking Children of Bodom, Hatebreed, Devil Driver, anything that I wanted to go to, they were opening for.
Well, that was around, I mean, all those happened about the time where they really kind of kicked off. They kind of peaked.
Yeah, this would have been right after...
let's say the Nocturnal?
Nocturnal, yeah. Yeah, it's literally, I started knowing who they were. Yeah, literally. Like, we went and saw them a few times. Like, we saw them open a few times, and I remember Preston being like, that band that we keep opening, like, we noticed it. And this was MySpace days, all right? This was, YouTube was a baby. There was nothing on there, all right? So, like, we trying to figure out who these guys were and everything, and eventually he found a copy of Nocturnal at, like, FYE or Best Buy or something, and that's how we found that. So it was literally right after Nocturnal came out is when we started, like, holy shit, this band, we go to see all these other bands, but this band is opening for everyone. Who are these guys? Like, and they always put on a killer show. But this time seeing them, because I haven't seen them now probably in a long, long time. I don't even know.
At least 10 years, it sounds like. Well, because you went to that one Mayhem Fest that they were on, right?
Yeah. Okay, so that would have been it.
Maybe, I'm guessing.
That would have definitely been it. Because before that, it would have been the Cannibal show in Detroit, the Metal Blade 25th anniversary tour.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was, I'm trying to remember what, I think that must have been like just before that.
It was like 07 or 08.
Yeah.
Somewhere there. But yeah, so but seeing them this time, far and away best I've ever seen them.
Yeah.
Like, that was fucking the musicianship, the stage presence, everything was just like to a T, exactly like it was like exactly fucking the amount of chaos that you want. Like, not too much, but people are going ape shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was fucking just perfect. It was just perfect.
It was cool because, like, during the night I was kind of floating around a little bit and stuff, and like when their set was on, I was like, I gotta get there, like, be up, you know, kind of be in this, you know, the shit or whatever. And like there wasn't really ever a point where I felt like, oh, you know, like stand back, like, this is too crazy. It was kind of like just like the right amount of, like, you know, everybody was just kind of like
having fun.
Yeah, it was cool.
There's a lot of positive energy that night that I felt like, and everybody had those. I think I said to you, everybody had those Black Dahlia Detroit shirts on.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like, everywhere you look, there's a badass Detroit D.
Yeah.
Like, oh, so sick. And then, dude, I don't know if you realize this.
Dude.
Did you look this up? Did you look up the set list?
I didn't.
Dude.
But I will say, number 7.
Warborn?
I have been waiting to hear that song live.
Yeah.
My entire life.
Okay.
Because they've never played it. Anytime I've seen them, they've never played it. And Malenchantments of Necrosphere, I think they played.
Okay. Hold on one second. Let me just show you something here. Give you a frame of reference. Why isn't it working? Oh. Here we go. All right. So frame of reference. Let's just say October 5th. So the most recent show they played.
Whoa. That's
their set list. Okay. That is the standard set list for every single show of this tour. Okay. Not the specific songs, but the amount.
Yeah.
Like there's 8, 7, 9 songs.
Yeah.
Here's what we saw.
Really?
19 songs, bro.
Wow.
They played almost 2 2.5 albums worth of shit almost.
I didn't even realize that.
Neither did I. But there was one point where he was like, normally we've only been playing for 45 minutes, but we'll keep going. Huh. So we got a 19-track fucking set list. Yeah. Now that is a headliner.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, so, because after they played Jars, and then they played Nightbringers. And I was like, oh, that'll probably be all we hear off Nightbringers. And then they played Kings of the Nightworld, and I was like, holy shit, they're really playing a lot.
And As Good as Dead.
And everything went black, and fuck Death Mask Divine. Oh my God, dude. Widowmaker, Sagittary Ape. I was happy about that.
On Stirring Seas.
Like, look at this. Like, they played 7 tracks off Nightbringers. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
4 off Nocturnal, 3 off Unhallowed, 2 off Miasma, 2 off Ritual, and 1 off Deflorate. That's a pretty even spread.
Yeah.
Like, that's a pretty good spread. Like, we saw a little bit of everything. That's the best set list I've ever seen them, because, I mean, they came out with new songs since the last time I've seen them, obviously.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that. Oh.
I think it's cool that they've been, because the last tour I saw them on was the
album tour, or the anniversary tour of something, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess there. Well, yeah. So there was a couple of times it was for with Whitechapel with This Is Exile, and then another time at Music Factory where they were doing the same thing. They were playing the same album all the way through and stuff. And I think it's cool that like they're able to do that, because not a lot of bands like put out an album and then play that album all the way through and then like add majority of it on, like, you know, a lot of bands you see kind of like put stuff out and then play like maybe like the single and like one other song off of it.
Yeah, that's the standard thing to do. Yeah.
So it was cool that they were like, you know, like, let's play this, and then, you know, so that everybody's familiar with it, because it was huge when it came out, and it still is. And, you know, just that they're able to add all those new songs in with all the, you know, the old favorites and stuff. It's cool to see how they kind of like, you know, how just how it's all put together, I guess.
And not only that, like on this tour that they're on right now, I don't know about like the Black Label Society dates, but I know on their solo dates, they're changing the set list every night. Every night, just like Hatebreed has been doing.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, to go from we're playing one album top to bottom to we're changing the set list every single fucking night.
Yeah.
Like that's like, oh, when you're at a point where you can do either, like that's got to feel pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Like, oh man.
Well, and they've done multiple like anniversary shows. Like I saw, because they did Unhallowed all the way through, which I saw, and it was just badass. Like, because that was like, I don't know, some of those songs that I've never heard them play live. And so to hear like the whole thing top to bottom was cool.
Yeah.
And they did Nocturnal all the way through for Summer Slaughter.
That would have been,
which I missed.
That one and Nightbringers are probably the ones. That one, Nightbringers, and I honestly don't know if this is, I was about to say unpopular opinion, but I don't know if this is unpopular opinion or not. But Abysmal, I want to see top to bottom really bad. I love that album.
I was thinking about that the other day. So I was like, that's one of the albums that is like, it doesn't really fit with, like, it's still them, but if it's kind of like, it's in a weird place. Like it's almost kind of like one of their more like polarizing records they put out.
That's what I've gathered, which is why I don't know what the general consensus is.
Yeah.
But to me, it was just like really death metal-y throughout, and I loved that. So
you could tell, like, and especially with a lot of like the lyrics and stuff, it was a pretty like dark record for him and stuff.
That there were tracks on that album where I was reading the lyrics and it made my stomach go, "What?
Yeah,
what was that?"
It's a bit more personal, but it's also like.
I love that though.
Yeah.
When lyrics evoke that feeling in me, it's like Cannibal Corpse lyrics. I love that. It's like watching a horror movie.
Yeah. Well, I've been stuck on Deflorate for some reason. Like, just I don't know. Every song on that is just sick.
That'd be a good one to see live too. But I'm sure in the future we'll get a Nightbringers tour and they play that top to bottom. That'd be cool.
Nightbringers.
But it'll be a while.
Yeah.
You know, they'll probably at least release the next album and one more before that happens, because that'll probably be about 10 years. But since it came out, because Nightbringers is a few years old now.
Yeah.
So 2 more albums over the next 7 years, and then a Nightbringers tour. Yeah, that makes sense.
You think they'll do Nightbringers again?
Like top to bottom. Did they do it top to bottom already?
Yeah. A couple of times. That's why. Were you?
The Whitechapel. I thought that wasn't. It was just Whitechapel that was doing the anniversary.
No, it was well.
Because they were doing This Is Exile.
Yeah, and then Dahlia played all of Nightbringers.
Oh, shit. I thought it was a different one. I didn't realize that. Maybe not then.
Yeah.
Maybe they won't.
I was going to say, because that seems kind of like they just did that for the longest time. And then I would say, like...
I didn't realize that.
I would say, if any of them, probably, like, is like Miasma is a big one. Mm-hmm. And that came out, like, almost 20 years ago, I think. At this point,
it'll be
probably 15.
It'll be 20 real soon. It'll be 20 in the next 5 for sure.
But whether or not
exactly when,
whether or not they'd actually do that is kind of, you know, who knows? I guess kind of just like that's more like a fan service kind of thing. I could see them doing like a couple of dates where they just play that all the way through.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like they're not really the same band that they were when that came out.
No.
Which definitely shows.
And I'm just I just cannot fucking wait for the next album.
Oh yeah.
I cannot fucking wait for the next album. From what I've gathered, we're looking at just off of rumors of people saying, "Hey, Brian told me this when I saw him at the show last night on Facebook," kind of shit. From what I've gathered from those kind of things, we're looking at March.
That's what I heard.
I believe we're looking at a March date, which again makes this the longest point in time between albums for them ever.
Yeah.
However, other bands following that trajectory, Slipknot, like the ones that are recent that I've dealt with this year, Slipknot, Convalescence, the albums that they release after that point are some of the best they've ever.
Oh yeah.
When they take a little bit more time than they're used to, and they just kind of they reset. Especially when you're at that point where you've already released a lot, you kind of on this crazy touring momentum, all this momentum, you know what I mean? And then you just kind of take 3 years instead of 2, you know what I mean, to work on the next one. And yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. That's gonna be on. Yeah, I can't wait.
I'm not even worried about it, honestly. Like, take your
time.
time
not
with
worried.
it. You know?
No, no, not at all. Yeah, absolutely. Take your time. Yeah, I want whatever you want me to have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hope we get a single before the end of the year. Fingers crossed. Kind of doubt it. It'll probably be like the first of the year or something like that.
Yeah.
That would make more sense.
I'd probably guess more like end of January, like early February maybe.
And as of sitting here right now, we sitting here right now, we fucking hopefully still have maybe an Anthrax album coming this year, but I kind of getting to the point where I doubt it. Even though they're saying it's coming, everybody's talking about it. I really want it. And then, but now I would say everything else that I projected for this year is being moved on next year at this point, which is Devil Driver's double album, Lamb of God's next album, Dahlia, Anthrax, Cannibal, and that's 5 off the top of my head. I know there's one I'm missing. Hatebreed. Hatebreed's got a new one coming next year. Yeah.
Yep. Didn't I see Josto's coming out with a Lost Chapters 2?
Lost Chapters 2 will be out by Christmas.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's gonna be cool.
I'm very Corpse Grinders on it. Yeah. Howard's on it. Lots of people are on it. I think Chuck Billy from Testament or something like that. I want to say. Yeah, dude. I'm super fucking excited. Yeah, that I'm gonna. That one I'm gonna have to pick up quick for the album of the year list. But yeah, so that's coming. But
the only ones I can think of is Fit for an Autopsy.
Well, that's this year.
Yeah. Well,
that's I'm saying like stuff that we thought might come out this year, but has not been confirmed at this point, so it probably won't.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Sorry, I thought I was.
Oh no, yeah, like that's yeah. There's a lot. There was a handful. Like we thought, like there were talks that Lamb of God would be out before the end of the year. A new D. Snyder album, but now he's not even doing his podcast anymore, and he says he doesn't know when he's going to play live again. So I don't know what's going on there. But I really I threw For the Love of Metal on the other day, and I was like, God damn it, this is a great album.
Yeah.
Oh, I want another one so bad.
Huh. Wonder if he just got is like too much too quick, maybe.
I don't know. But I really hope. I hope we haven't seen the last of him. That's for. I want to see him live again so goddamn bad. And honestly, I want to see him solo. Like I've seen him in the makeup with Twisted. I was lucky enough to see that once. But now I want to see him just solo up there, fucking doing For the Love of Metal and stuff. Like really bad. I'd really enjoy that.
I wonder if it's like. Sorry, not so much him, but like. You know, like just putting it all together and like because there. I mean, it was all like studio musicians, wasn't it? On the
no, it was
two of the guys from Toxic Holocaust.
Yeah, people from Jamie's other bands. Yeah.
So I wonder if it's like, you know, just like a time and a place kind of thing.
Well, he also doesn't live here in the United States.
Oh, really?
He lives in like Barcelona or something like that. I can't remember exactly. That might be it. I don't know. So yeah, it's hard for him. And like he even talked about it on one of his podcasts about like how Josta will fucking go out and like record a podcast with someone and then go play a show. Whereas D, he's like, I've been doing live shows for however many 50 years now, and I kind of got a thing that I do. It's like a workout and all this kind of stuff. I don't have time on show days when even if I'm out there with somebody who I do want to interview really bad. And he's like, I'm old. My voice. Like, if I sit there and talk for 2 hours, I'm not going to sing. Like, he's like, usually on a performance day, I don't talk all day until I get on stage, until warm up. You know what I mean? Like, so there's that too. You know what I mean? There's a lot of factors with him, but that he's talked about on his podcast, which is really great. Everybody should check it out. It's called I Want to Talk. But yeah, he hasn't done a new episode in quite a while. But the ones he did do, man, they were great.
Yeah,
really, really good.
Made a lot of good points on stuff.
Oh my god,
people aren't talking about.
And well, they are right now, which surprises me that they kind of nobody talked about it when he talked about it on his podcast. But now that the podcast is over and they just announced whoever J-Lo and Shakira for the Super Bowl halftime show, and D. Snyder was like, "Fuck that! Why aren't AC/DC and Guns N' fucking Roses the biggest touring artists of all time?
Yeah.
Why aren't you getting them?" You know what I mean? Like, it makes complete sense. Why are you not getting the Rolling fucking Stones, for Christ's sake? Led Zeppelin, you know what I mean? Like, Sabbath, they've sold so many more records.
Yeah.
So many more people would tune into that. It just makes sense, but no. No, I get his point completely.
Yeah.
We get shit on. There's, Rob Zombie just was quoted saying heavy metal is looked at as a step above pornography. Still.
I don't know about that.
He said that in an interview. Huh. I mean, put it this way. When I go out, I don't feel that, but I also recognize where I am in my personal experience is nothing. You know what I mean? It's insignificant. It's just that's all it is my personal experience. So I don't necessarily feel that because to me, whenever we go out and we're metalheads, I feel, not really, but you kind of feel better than everybody else. Like, because I'm a fucking metalhead, you know what I mean? But like, so I don't feel that often, and I guess I don't know. I don't really feel like I'm getting as many of the looks as I used to get when I wear shirts and stuff. I don't know. Maybe I just don't notice it anymore.
Yeah.
But maybe it is. I mean, think about Nobody's ever calling any of them up for the Super Bowl halftime show. Nobody's, in all the mixed music festivals, the metal bands get the shittiest slots. You know what I mean? Like it's maybe he's talking about from the perspective of the industry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think like
even though metal is some of the biggest selling tours happening right now.
Oh yeah, easily.
Mm-hmm.
when you look at like all of ticket sales and stuff, like
Iron Maiden, Guns N' Roses alone.
Yeah.
Iron Maiden, Guns N' Roses alone, touring right now, right this second. They are both in the United States touring. Unbelievable amounts of money.
Yeah.
Let's just, if you just want to talk ticket sales, fine, but let's throw merch in there.
Oh.
Let's throw.
Yeah. That's a whole other discussion, really.
Especially for Guns N', well, really, especially for Maiden.
Yeah.
Like, because Maiden fans, I know from experience, we need Eddie on a shirt, and we need tour dates on the back.
You got one right behind you.
I have like probably 3.
Yeah. There's one right there.
There's another one.
One up there.
This is my first one. This is the first one I ever got right here. Yep, Benjamin Brieg. But yeah, so it's insane, and yeah, it's still like not talked about. If CNN's top tours of the year probably isn't going to be accurate. Put it that way.
Yeah. Well, what about like it would never happen, but like I don't know. Like the fan in me wants to see Slipknot do it, but I know for a fact that would never pass.
Makes so much sense. It makes sense from the perspective of if I'm booking it, if I'm the booker, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But yeah, no fucking way. And quite frankly, I don't know if I'd want that. Like on some level I do, but on another level, I feel like Slipknot is one of those bands that like they could, they could still it'd be crazy and instantly sell out, but they could still do a small theater tour. If you go to do the Super Bowl, that's no longer an option. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that kind of puts you with like
Rolling Stones.
Yeah, well,
literally, they've done it.
Even Metallica hasn't, and I guess they
Jesus
said
Christ.
that they said that they won't. I guess.
Oh. Okay, well that's
reason.
why then.
Yeah.
Because that makes more sense than anything.
That's
a given. That's a no-brainer. But then again, so is AC/DC and Guns.
You would think,
Those are no-brainers. Metallica, AC/DC, and Guns absolutely are the no-brainers. And they're all going.
Like as far as like the popular music thing goes, and as far as like, who we've had in the past, like, there have been some real like iconic performances that have come out of that.
Yes, there has.
But
yes. Nothing to Jesus Christ, can you because they always have like multiple performers and they come out and play together.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine in the middle of Brian Johnson and Angus Young up there? I'm on a highway to hell. And then here comes Axl and Slash on the same. I have goosebumps talking about this right now. Like Axl, Angus, AC/DC, and Guns on the same stage all together, and Axl was just playing as the singer for AC/DC a couple tours ago because Brian Johnson had the ear injury.
Yeah.
That is a no-brainer. Oh my God, you guys fucked up. Y'all, God, someone send this podcast to whoever the fuck books that shit because you fucked it. You fucked her, bud. You fucked her. Like, oh my God, that is
talking about like history, man.
History. That's 100%.
Yeah.
That's a Rock in Rio. That's a fucking Monsters of Metal tour. That's a fucking that's shit that isn't done anymore.
Yeah.
And I would watch the Super Bowl to watch that and not give a flying fuck about the game.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Like, God damn it. God, that'd be cool. All right. Woo!
What were we talking about? How did we get on
nothing.
this?
We were talking about Dahlia, and then we went down this rabbit hole. But next, we should talk about the Joker.
Yes, we should.
Because we both saw it over the weekend. Now, I don't know, you probably didn't hear the episode I posted last night, but Jordan and Gabby were here in the crypt with me on Saturday because they had just seen the Joker on Friday.
Oh, okay.
And I posted about it. And on Facebook, I was just like, hey, I'm going to see Joker. And then Jordan messaged me and was like, hey, can we be on your podcast about the Joker? I was like, really?
Oh, yeah.
Like, not only would I have never guessed that's the one you'd want to be on, but you went and saw a movie that just came out? Like, since when do you have time for that shit? But yeah, they came over. They wanted to talk about it because Jordan was more in line with my thoughts about it, and Gabby really didn't like it. Gabby didn't like it at all.
Okay.
My one quick question to you: have you seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
I haven't.
Okay, never mind then.
But I am of the understanding that I need to see that and Taxi Driver now.
Well, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, though, it's Quentin. If you liked,
yeah. Oh, the new one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No,
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah.
But
the reason why I bring that up is because I keep saying this for anybody listening that has seen that movie and hasn't seen the Joker yet, or you have. To me, the Joker felt like that movie. These movies have nothing in common other than like just the way they made me physically feel throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And also similarities in the sense that I felt a good portion of the movie was fairly drawn out to build up a whole lot of shit in the last 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I guess we'll start because I've already kind of said some of mine. Even though that's the other thing is that's the risk about talking about movies, especially like that, like just the same day you see it or whatever, because you gotta sleep on that for a few days. So I got some new thoughts. But how did you feel about the movie?
Man, well, it's hard to even like. I don't know. I guess I'll start with that. When I was watching it, there were points where I forgot that it was supposed to be a superhero movie or like a Batman, like in that universe at least. You know what I mean?
100%. And going into it, it was made very clear that this is not a superhero movie. Yeah. This has nothing to do with anything. It's a standalone thing. It's not even based on the comics other than this one character.
Yeah.
And actually it turned out to be 4 characters, but yeah.
Yeah. So what kind, and going into it, I was pretty blind, honestly. Like I watched like the first trailer and I was like, I got to see this. And that was like when they first talked about it, like last year sometime. I saw all the pictures and stuff and I was like, this is going to be sick, because there hasn't been like, we haven't really gotten a story like that before from his, like his whole backstory and everything like that. I mean, if you've been following it for long enough, you kind of get it. Like you kind of know what happened and stuff, but like, I don't know. I just like, there's like, I even have like a hard time like figuring out where to start with it. Well, yeah. because
it's just so much.
Yeah.
Well, for me, going in to this movie, I was maybe not as excited about it as others, because for me, it's a very, very tall order for 3 reasons. First reason being, part of the reason why I love the character of the Joker is because he has no origin. He is a mystery. He is a force of nature that appears to balance out what Batman is trying to do. And I said this to you when we watched, I think we watched the trailer on an episode of this, and I said this to you. Literally, we can go back months ago. I fucking called this, bro. And I'm so proud of it. I was like, the one way they can get away with telling this story as a Joker origin story and still retain that mystery is if he's adopted. And he fucking was. And that is one part of the movie I wanted to stand up. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I called that shit. Like, I was so happy about that. I was so happy that he was adopted. So, but I didn't know that going in. So going in, there was that weight. Then there's the weight of the fact that it's a 2 hour and 15-minute long movie. This is a long fucking movie. Okay?
Yeah, it definitely feels like it.
And then the third thing, kind of connected to the second thing, fucking, you're asking me. Oh, no. This is its own third thing. So you're asking me to sit here for 2 hours and 15 minutes to watch a Joker story. Now, and let's keep in mind, everyone forever that puts on the makeup and plays the Joker, everyone forever will be judged against one of, if not the greatest on-screen performance in human history, Heath Ledger's Joker. Everyone will inevitably judge it against that. So you're asking for a fucking, giving me a Joker origin story I might not even want. You're fucking 2 hours and 15 minutes long. You're fucking judged against one of the greatest on-screen performances of all time. And then I guess there's a fourth thing. You're asking me all of that, and you're not going to show me Batman.
Yeah.
Like that is a tall order.
Impress me, bro.
Exactly.
Here we go. I guess
I'm wanting to be impressed at that point, and I knew going in that Thomas Wayne would be in it.
Yeah.
And it was cool to see Martha and a young Bruce and an Alfred.
I think it was cool because not only did it like, I mean, there were some parts that were pretty obviously like nods to The Dark Knight.
I felt so
too. A couple of scenes,
especially those big wide shots of the city.
Yeah.
Did you feel that too?
Yeah.
I was like, that feels Nolan-y.
It was that. It was the, well, spoilers, I guess.
Well,
I mean,
we're going
point.
full hog. Don't listen to this if you haven't seen the Joker.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not holding anything back.
When he's in the car at the last point and he's looking out the window, that's like straight from The Dark Knight.
Son of a bitch! I didn't even think of that.
You didn't think of that?
Now. That did not hit me until just now.
When he's, I mean, the only difference was in Dark Knight, his like head's kind of out the window and shit, whatever. But like,
but still, that's a definite head nod.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
There were a couple more too. I can't think of off the top of my head that I was like, that like kind of reminds me of.
I definitely feel like his. I felt like a lot of his body language was really similar to Heath's interpretation.
Yeah.
Like the way he moved, especially after he shot the guy at the end, and like when he stands up and just like the way he kind of wiggles around a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I was like, that looks like Heath Ledger. Like that, some of that, or like when he gets punched in the train, and then he kills those 3 guys, his first kills.
Yeah.
Like that stuff, like a lot of his body movements in there. I was like, wow, that reminds me a lot of Heath Ledger's performance. One of the big things I didn't like was how I love one key aspect of a Joker interpretation that I love is a specific. I want the character to have its own voice, literally. And when he fully realized himself as the Joker in this movie, he didn't change his voice at all. He did for 1 second, which was another Dark Knight reference, when he grabbed the camera.
Yeah.
When he went up to the
Damn,
camera and grabbed it, and they cut it. That's because it was 4 seconds, but it was like the best shot in the whole fucking movie.
Huh.
Like, I was like, no, cut that. I want to hear that. Like, he was like screaming a little bit, and I was like, there's your voice.
Yeah.
That's the Joker voice. And then they cut it, and I was like, son of a fucking bitch. That bummed me out. Okay, so
I want to, like, I guess there were a couple of things that I really enjoyed about it. First thing being that, like, part of it to me felt like it was definitely like, you know, kind of talking about like the political stuff that's been going on. It kind of mirrored some of that
in Gotham, like the political climate in Gotham and how that contributed to his mental state in some ways.
Yeah, but also like how, you know, as far as like a real world comparison.
Oh
yeah,
know?
Yeah. Like, because I mean, all right. Well, I don't know. I'm not super political, but I know where I stand with things.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
Like, we're not political at all.
Not really.
But like, you know, just all the stuff, like the last part, you know, the last few parts where he's like going downtown or whatever when he's about to be on the show or whatever, and like all the clown stuff and like there's you know the whole like that kind of had like a MAGA kind of like, you know, sort of vibe to it, like you know, or like when at the very last part of it when all the riots start happening and stuff and like there's a bunch of people around or whatever, or like, you know, before he goes in to actually like talk to
Thomas Wayne.
Yeah, the first time, and he's kind of like out in like the rally or whatever, and then he walks inside and it kind of like goes away or whatever. Like, to me, it kind of like mirrored some of that, which is kind of weird.
I guess I agree. I see what you're saying. I guess I just didn't pick up on that because I was like at the moment just enthralled with like he's creating the world of chaos that he wants.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I could see those parallels. They're not. I don't really think they're super blatant though.
No. Well,
you know what I mean?
You know
what I mean?
It was pretty subtle, and maybe maybe that just wasn't what it was. I guess that was just kind of my interpretation of it when I was watching it. I was like, that's kind of, you know, like I feel like I've seen kind of similar stuff like that, like on the news or whatever, like, you know, all the rallies and crazy shit.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I thought was like it didn't even really register until I started watching it, like how much of a heavy emphasis on like the mental health thing
that was
in it.
What I was not expecting. I wasn't expecting this to really be a story about mental health with Joker as a backdrop.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah.
Like that's really kind of what it was.
Yeah. It was kind of interesting as far as like, you know, like all the stuff that he was writing out and stuff, and like how it just kind of like how he was viewed when like, you know, when they like played the show the first time, like his on the show.
Oh, when he like the stand-up routine he did, yeah,
and all that stuff, and kind of saying like, you know, like, you know, just kind of stuff like that, like, you know, pigeonholing him and stuff, and
calling him a Joker,
literally,
which I did not like. That's where he got his name.
I
didn't like.
I thought that was kind of cool.
You called me Joker on the show, so introduce me as that. Really? It felt like almost as lame as like the Han Solo thing. Oh, you're alone? Han Solo. Fuck you. God, lazy. It just felt lazy writing.
Yeah.
But I
don't know. I guess like because I don't really remember the last movie that was kind of like that kind of really, you know, like made that kind of a bit more of a point than I expected it to. And I feel like with the way, you know, all the like the big like shootings and stuff, and all like the stuff in the news that's kind of been going on, like I feel like for something like this to come out and for people to actually have like a response to it is really saying something right now. And I feel like it's definitely like I feel like we're gonna look back on this in like 5 or 10 years and be like, that was, you know, that was kind of where we were at the time. Like there's mirroring, you know. Maybe
in hindsight we see it clear. Yeah. I could see that.
Because there's definitely a lot of points where I felt like this is, you know, like just how the world views, you know, like just mentally just messed up people, I guess, and stuff, as like, you know, as like sick people, or like, you know, like, I don't know. I don't really know how to, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And that was, I mean, that was one part of the story that I didn't like, but I guess it could be interpreted in a way that that makes me like it, and that his fucking laugh was part of a mental disorder.
Yeah.
I was like, that is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. The Joker, he has a mental disorder that makes him laugh. Are you kidding? That's the Joker laugh? Are you serious?
Yeah.
I thought that was stupid. But then after the movie was over, my buddy was like, well, no. Later in the movie, he kind of, once he like stops taking his medication and like realizes his mom was full of shit about everything and crazy, he like realizes that wasn't part of his mental issues, and that was just something his mom always said. And so like he stopped taking his medication, he killed his mom, and he kind of stopped doing that as much.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense then. In that case, that's fine.
Yeah. I guess the way that they explained it was a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was
they didn't really explain that outright.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of that, and that's one of the things I didn't care for about the film is how like cerebral it was, and how I felt like they intentionally, especially during the first half of the movie, intentionally, like the way they jumped around in scenes made it like they're trying to make you feel like disassociated a little bit, kind of probably how he's feeling.
Yeah.
And a lot and then so the last scene in the movie is him, right, sitting there with that counselor.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you noticed what I noticed, but he didn't have green hair.
I didn't notice that.
I don't see Arkham Asylum re-dyeing your hair brown.
Well, I have a theory about that.
My theory is he was in the asylum the whole time and the whole movie was fake.
That's
like
that's about where I'm at with it.
As soon as I knew the girlfriend was fake off the bat.
Oh, yeah.
Like the first time he just like opened the door and kissed her, I was like, bullshit. That did not just happen.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to reveal that later, but that did not just happen. So I knew all of that was bullshit. And then you get he's sitting there earlier in the movie talking to that first therapist, and she made one mention of him being in the asylum before, and then it shows him banging his head against the wall.
Yeah. Well,
I think that's where he was the whole time. And I think the whole thing, and then, because if you think about it, the girlfriend, what was she? She was an illusion of what he wanted.
Yeah. That was what I took from it.
And so is the ending of the movie.
Yeah.
The ending of that movie is everything he wanted. Him standing on top of a car around a burning crowd, chanting his name.
Yeah.
He wanted to be loved and recognized like a superstar. And that's fucking what he got in that moment. And then the next scene, it cuts to him in an asylum going, I just thought of a joke.
Yeah.
You won't get it.
Yeah.
And then he runs out of the room with blood on the floor. Did he kill her? What happened there? I don't know. I didn't get that. And then I, of course, read later that the director was like, yeah, we did all that on purpose to leave it all open to interpretation. I'm like, okay, I understand that. And in a sense, even that's super true to comic books, to Joker comics specifically, because a lot of times when people have tried to tell a Joker origin story, it is very disassociative, and they do make it all crazy like that because he's crazy. But so it is kind of true to that form in a sense.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I kind of just wanted a fucking Joker story, and I didn't want to be like mind tripped the whole time. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Because I saw it with Alex, my singer buddy, best friend, whatever. Yeah, and we were both kind of like talking about the end of it and stuff, and it didn't really hit me until after that, like when we were kind of watching some review stuff on it or whatever, and it was like, you know, maybe the whole thing was like just didn't happen, you know, like he was just there the whole time and stuff, and it was weird how like I got two different comparisons from it as far as like what it felt like to me, like movie wise, like stylistically, and it was American Psycho. And Requiem for a Dream. That's why I brought up Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah. Like, it's similar. Because, like, the whole time when I, like, the very first part where he's, like, watching the TV and stuff, and he's, like, there. Yeah. Like, that's straight out of it. Like, that happened in Requiem. Yeah. Yeah. And just, like, the way that they talk about, like, the, you know, like, all the pills and stuff and, like, all the medications and everything, like, it's also in there. Like, it's a big part of that movie and stuff, and it's also a big part of this one to a point. I feel like. I feel like kind of the second half of it, they kind of backed off of that being like the focus of it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I definitely, and very similarly to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I liked both of these movies, but I don't feel like I fully understand either of them yet. Yeah. And I feel like that's going to happen when I can sit down by myself in my room, dark, smoke some weed, and watch it by myself. Yeah. And then really absorb it. That's, you know, because that's kind of the problem with movies like this in theaters, is you don't always like absorb all of it that first time. So yeah, I'm definitely going to watch these again and give them, you know, really try to get it. But because I think they're... See, that's what bums me out about the directors. Be like, no, it's all open to. I'd rather them have said, no, it's a mystery we want you to solve. Because now, like when I watch it again, I could like think I figured something out and be like, no, that's just what I figured out. God damn it! Like, you know what I mean? So it's kind of there were two parts of it that made me laugh, which I didn't expect to. And the first one was when he shows up at the Wayne Manor or whatever. He's outside the gate. Yeah. He's talking to Bruce. Yeah. And he's like talking to him and stuff. And he's like, I don't remember what his name was. Who? The Joker. Oh, Arthur Fleck. Yeah. He's like, I'm Arthur or whatever. And yeah. So then he's like sitting there and he like puts his hands through the fence and like sticks his thumbs in the kid's mouth and like for like entirely too long. Yeah. Real gross. It's like, what are you doing? You know, and you know my like I have a thing about missed opportunities. Like if I see something and in my head I feel like within the bounds of that story I could have I think of something that could have made that scene better, it bothers me. Like the biggest is like that American Horror Story hotel episode where they didn't bring back Bloodyface. Oh yeah. That's the biggest one. In this, I felt like there were a lot of missed opportunities. Like the scene where he is choking Alfred for a second. Like Bruce should have grabbed a stick and hit his hand, and like they should have made eye contact for 1 minute with Bruce looking real intense, just to like foreshadow what we know is coming in the future. You know what I mean? Like that would have been sick. Why weren't any of his therapists Harley Quinn? That would have been sick because that's where she comes from in the cartoons, which is where that's Harley Quinn's origin is the cartoon. She never existed anywhere else before the animated series.
They invented a sidekick for the bad guy for the first time in the animated series.
I wonder if they didn't because of the whole like,
rights. They don't have made it. But okay, fine. But even then, like
it would have set it up perfectly for the next for her.
Well, it's not connected.
Movie.
It's not supposed to be connected.
Oh, yeah.
So I
That's true,
shouldn't if you were gonna do it, don't even have the same actress and have it just be. Don't even make a note. Maybe just have it on her name tag. Don't even say it or something. You know what I mean? Real low key.
Yeah.
And in her actual origin story, Harley Quinn isn't her name. She actually has another name. So you could have just used that name. Can't remember what it was though. Or another piece of low hanging fruit. Those two fucking cops that were chasing him for half the movie, why was one of them not Lieutenant Gordon instead of Commissioner Gordon?
I didn't even think about that.
Low-hanging fruit,
dude,
man.
For real.
That would have been real good.
You wouldn't have been able to kill one of them, though? Or both
Neither of them died. They were both just beat up.
Oh.
The news said they both survived. They both just had injuries in the hospital.
I must have missed that part then.
Yeah, it was real quick. Yeah. Like Arthur just like looked at the TV for a second.
What? Speaking of that, what was up with the rats part? They talked about like some like what was it?
Rats part.
Yeah, like he's on the news. It's like the very first part of it. They're talking about. Let me see.
I don't know. I don't remember. I was gonna say what was up with all the fucking dancing.
That too. But yeah, the super rats in the sewer. It was like a newscast. They were like, oh, there's reports of super rats infesting the city or whatever. And
because they were talking about all the garbage in the streets and stuff.
Well, like, what was that about, though?
I don't know. Yeah, that never really came back up.
Yeah.
It was weird. I was super happy when they said that he was adopted because I was super mad when they were about to make him Bruce Wayne's brother.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to be furious.
Yeah.
Furious. That would have made me so angry.
How did you feel about the part where they show his parents getting murdered again?
You know,
I feel like that was kind of a last minute idea. Like, that was kind of like not overshot, but like
hey, let's throw this in.
Yeah, it was like an afterthought.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah. You know, it wasn't necessary.
The thing with the pearls that happens all the time.
Every time.
Every movie.
Every single one.
Like,
how many times can we see these characters die?
Yeah.
What it comes down to, and apparently the answer is a fuck ton.
Well, it's like, to me, it's like prior knowledge. Like, we know how this happens.
Yeah.
I mean, other than for like timeline's sake and just like wrap things up, but like,
I had to have read this to you before. Have I read you that crazy online Batman theory where like some Reddit user like wrote one of the greatest theories in history about Batman and the Joker?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember talking about it at least.
Okay. Good. Because I read it on the last one, so I'm not going to read it on this one. I read it to Jordan and Gabby.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that one, it was the cliff notes were fucking Batman in the future he defeats the ultimate evil and saves the DC universe, but as like after he defeats it, there's like a thing that it sets and it sends him back in time, and he like doesn't know where he is, and the time, like the fucking Z-rays and the time vortex take away like his suit, so he's got to find some like shitty clothes off a clothesline and like fucking like walks down an alleyway and looks up and sees his mom, dad, and the young version of him, and then he realizes that and he turns around to look for Joe Chill, the guy that killed him originally, and he's not there, and he realizes in that moment that in order for Batman to, in the future, save all the DC universe, Batman has to exist. So, Batman doesn't exist unless his parents die right now. And so he reaches his hand in his pocket and finds a gun. And he has to go kill his own parents in front of himself.
Yeah,
and he runs away and tries to kill himself. He can't deal with it. Jumps off, goes insane basically. Jumps off of Gotham Bridge, fucking 200 feet below into the water. Some dock workers pull out a body a few hours later that's completely pale, and there's nothing in the pockets but a gun and lint. And so they call the cops, and just when he's calling the cops, he hears a laugh coming from the body.
Oh shit!
So Batman becomes the Joker.
Huh.
Ah!
Yeah.
That's the greatest story ever. That's the greatest story ever.
Wasn't there one timeline where it was like it was?
That's just a Reddit user.
Oh.
That's not even a comic.
Oh.
Someone
shit.
on Reddit came up with that.
Yeah. I feel like maybe we talked about that. I know we talked about a few of them. I don't remember if that was one of them. There was another one where like his mom ends up being like the Joker or something like that.
That is in the comics.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like
There's one where his mom's the Joker and his dad's Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like one of the multiverse.
Yeah.
I can't remember something crazy. And oh wait, I thought I just had it, but now I don't. But that's actually something that was even discussed doing in some of the movies too. Not necessarily Martha as the Joker, but Thomas as Batman.
Yeah.
Because that's the Batman with like the red eyes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's a cool one. So all right, there was one. I thought there was another thing about the Joker that I kind of wanted to bring up, but now I can't remember what it was.
It like walking away from it, I was like, I don't know. I felt kind of like sad. Like it was weird. Like, you know, just kind of like thinking about it and stuff, and like just the whole tone of the movie is really like it's kind of like I don't know. Like there's not like a good ending to it.
Oh no.
It just kind of, you know,
there's not really any positive parts. Oh, the other part that made you laugh though, and I already know what it is because I know what the first one you just said was. The second part that made you laugh was when the dwarf tried to unlock the door. Yeah, it was hysterical. That was hysterically funny. Oh my god.
You're one of the good ones.
Yeah. I don't even know. Did I just insult somebody by saying dwarf? I don't know.
We're sorry.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I thought that was the right small people. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Small person?
Yeah.
He's a good actor. I love him.
Yeah.
I love them all. Fucking Dinklage all day. He's my boy. I love Peter Dinklage.
Just like the way that he just takes out the other guy with the scissors and
Loved
stuff. Yeah.
That was brutal as fuck. But that too, like in the comics and in the cartoon, when Joker gets extra brutal, it's like that. It's just like a quick burst and then it's done.
Yeah.
Like that was true to character in a lot of ways. How every time he killed someone, it was like this sudden build up and burst and then done.
Yeah.
Like that just insanity of like imbalance. Like
yeah.
I kind of liked how they pulled all that off. Yeah.
The I don't feel like as a whole it did quite what I feel like people were saying about it in terms of like it being super shocking and stuff. But having said that, there were a few times where I was like you can get away with that.
That's another reason why it was very like Scorsese. Well, obviously Scorsese is a producer, but Scorsese and Tarantino-esque is that they do such a great job at putting you in the place, in the time, with the character, like you're enveloped in the world. They do a really good job at physically putting you in the world.
Yeah.
And then when they're at that point and that world becomes like it takes a little while to make it become like real. And so by the time you're sitting in your seat and it's starting to become real to you, that's when you can fucking like turn everything and shit. Because up to that point, there was really no violence at all, except for him getting beat up a couple times.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, for that sudden turn of violence to come in, that's how it feels more shocking because everything up to it was so low. But it also feels extremely real because you're in that world. They did a good job putting you there. It's very similar. Like that's the same way I feel every time I watch a Tarantino, pretty much. Like they do a really good job at all that.
I never really thought about it like that. There wasn't really like the first hour of the movie. It's all just like narrative. And
I'm not saying this to be mean or anything like that, but I'm not gonna lie. After like the first hour of that movie, I was like, if the second half isn't better, I'm gonna be real pissed.
Yeah.
Like I was bored.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was a little bored in the first half. I was like, where is this going? And then I'm like, where is this going?
Yeah. But like the part where he kills his mom and like how he does it and the fact that like they just show it
with the pillow.
Yeah. Like that was one of those moments where I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like this, like, kind of, I don't know, it just kind of like turned my stomach a little bit. Like it was hard to watch.
A little bit. That one for sure. And then the other clown guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that scene was that was a good scene though. That was a really good scene.
Yeah.
They did that. That was really cool. But yeah, all in all, I definitely think everyone should see it.
Oh yeah.
But maybe you might need to see it more than once. And don't go in assuming anything you think of it is going to be what it is.
Yeah.
Because it's not.
It was cool how, and I always really appreciate when when directors and when just like, you know, like the whole like environment or like the whole vibe of the movie kind of like you can feel it getting like darker as it goes along.
Oh yeah.
Which is cool. Like even, you know, like the parts of where he's in the apartment and stuff and just kind of like freaking out or whatever, or like, you know, the part where he's listening to the machine, he just kind of like randomly just gets in the fridge. Like I didn't understand what the point of that was.
Oh, yeah.
But like you could almost feel like you were watching somebody like lose themselves. You know, you could almost feel that when you were watching it and stuff. And like it was all, you know, it's like that, and it was really, you know, around the time when like he gets fired basically. And like, you know, there was that point where like it's just like a close up of his face, but it starts to like, you know, you can see he's kind of starting to like lose it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, you know, just after that, that was kind of like the turning point for it. And then, you know, with all the stuff in the subway and everything like that, like, you know, that was kind of where it all happened. And then, just the twist at the end of it, like, because I thought for sure. Again, massive spoilers, but like I thought for sure that like he was just, you know, I mean, I guess it makes more sense now because like you know, otherwise it wouldn't be able to go on with it or whatever. But I thought for sure that he was gonna like off himself on the show.
Oh yeah, they were showing him practice.
Yeah,
that was weird.
Yeah,
I didn't really get that.
Well, because you know, I probably figured, you know, like make an example of it, you know.
But then why decide to not do it?
Well, because, you know, he kind of like flashes back when he's standing there because before he comes out, they show the thing.
Yeah.
And they're like kind of making fun of him for it and stuff. And then I feel like that was like they didn't really like make it obvious. They didn't really make a point of it. But as soon as that happened, he kind of like gets out there and stuff. Like that was really the point where, you know, like knowing what I know now, like knowing that happens, it makes more sense. But in the moment, I was like, that was insane.
That's
like,
a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, that's the other thing too, is at the end of the day, maybe that's part of it. It's almost like this movie was like a little too grounded in reality. Like at the end of the day, this is a superhero villain. No matter what you do with him, that's who he is.
Yeah.
And that's what the character is. And I didn't. It's hard for me to believe that a Batman could exist in that world.
That's kind of what I meant when I said like there were points where I forgot that that's what I was watching.
Yeah.
You know, it made like because to me it felt like what they were doing was they were humanizing his character. They
humanizing,
were
but definitely not sympathizing.
Right. Yeah.
Which is good.
They made it so that like, you know, it wasn't, you know, almost like it was relatable, a bit more relatable instead of like, you know, crazy over the top supervillain kind of deal. Like you could almost I don't know.
Which is honestly like, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, and you're right. You're spot on. Hence him not changing his voice.
Yeah. And I thought that, I don't know. I'm kind of I don't know if I necessarily like the fact that they were like, oh, well, it's a mental condition, like what we were talking about and stuff.
The laugh?
But yeah. But for one, I like the day after I saw a report that was like, I guess that's like a real thing that people have.
Oh, I totally believe it's real. Yeah.
But to say it like that and to have it be like that's the reason, it's kind of like
and okay, and yeah, so you're making a movie like to shine light on mental illness. Now everyone with that condition is going to be called Joker for the rest of their fucking life.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
Yeah, kind of the same. Like, I don't know if I agree with how they did it and with how they were like, that was like the first part of the movie. They were just kind of like got it out of the way.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, they said that they showed that really quick.
Yeah. Well, I thought, because the way that the trailer kind of showed it was like, I was expecting like a slow like descent for him, and for it to be like something that he just kind of like picks up.
I was expecting him to like, yeah, exactly, like him to decide that a laugh is a specific laugh is something he wants. So throughout the movie, we're seeing him work on it.
Yeah, that was what I was expecting.
That's what I wanted.
Yeah,
as opposed to, oh no, it's just this weird thing that he does.
Yeah.
When he's uncomfortable.
Yeah. I don't necessarily know.
It's like a nervous tick almost.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know if I would have agreed with that, but like.
I did not like that.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. Because that's kind of it. Like, it never. Yeah. That's it. Like, it just felt like a guy going crazy and doing this stuff. It didn't feel like the Joker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was just almost like these super, like, I get it. It's not a superhero movie, blah, blah, blah. So, but at the same time, like, maybe a little more truth to the character of what the character is, and the character is a supervillain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe that's the problem I have with it. I don't know. I need to see it again.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Definitely need to watch that one again, for sure. But all in all, definitely good.
Oh, yeah. I feel like if that doesn't win any kind of awards, I'm going to be shocked. Because
I'm not going to lie. What award do you think it should win?
Well, at least, like, all right, and I guess to kind of go back on your point about Heath Ledger, because, like, I wasn't.
Who Heath Ledger was the first ever to win an Oscar for a superhero performance.
Yeah. Like,
in a superhero movie.
I don't know if I would put God, I can never Joaquin Phoenix, yeah.
Performance in the same league.
I don't know if I would.
Can't do it.
Because to me they felt like two totally different characters.
Yeah.
Like, they felt like two different versions of the character, you know?
Yeah, and I blatantly love one way more. You know?
It's hard not to.
Blatantly.
It's hard not to.
And not ashamed of that at all.
Yeah.
I
mean.
Yeah, exactly. I think if there's anything that this thing is going to get a nod for, like, I'm fine with, like, directing or writing. I thought both of those were really good. But I do not think he deserves a best leading actor for this. I think there is no one that deserves that Oscar more this year than Robert Downey Jr. for Iron Man.
Yeah, that's fair.
Not just for Endgame, but for the last 10 years of Iron Man. He deserves that.
Give him a statue.
Give him a fucking statue.
He ain't got no statue.
And that's what they do. They don't give an Oscar to Lord of the Rings until the third one for the first two. They don't give an Oscar to Leo until The Revenant, even though Wolf of Wall Street was way better. Yeah. Like, that kind of shit. Yeah. It's that kind of shit. They do that all the time. Again, awards, rankings are fucking subjective bullshit anyway. Why do we even play these games?
Yeah.
Ugh.
But, I mean, as far as, like, I don't know. Because, like, it kept my attention the whole time. And
yeah. Oh, yeah. Entertaining as fuck.
Yeah.
It's what you go to the movies for, is to be entertained. This will entertain you.
Yeah.
I just think I personally, from me, will be able to appreciate it more when I'm alone watching it.
Yeah.
Not in a theater. Excuse me.
Well, because even, like, it even had, like, points of, like, The Shining and stuff in it. And
that's what I was going to say. That's the other one.
Yeah.
That it felt like, too, is The Shining. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree that because in that movie, they do a lot of that scene jumping around to throw you off your feet. And that's, they do that a lot in this, especially in the beginning.
So, I don't know. Like, it's hard for me to really, I guess, like, to that point, like, you know, those movies even took me, like, 2 or 3 times of watching it to be like, these are like one of my favorites, you know. And
think about all the movies we're putting it in the same league as.
Oh yeah,
like these are all Oscar monsters.
Yeah.
Like anything Quentin touches, anything Scorsese touches. You know what I mean? Anything fucking. Who did Shining? It was. Oh Jesus Christ! Everyone knows this guy's name. People think he faked the moon landing. Come on. Oh my god. This isn't even the weed. This is just a fuck up. Come on, what is it, Aaron? Son of a bitch. There was a documentary. Stanley
Kubrick.
Boom, boom, boom. I got it. Stanley Kubrick. There we go. People were screaming.
Somebody somewhere, yeah. And even that came out in 1980. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
Yeah. So I feel like, you know, with enough time and with enough like behind it and with enough people talking about it, I feel like we're gonna look back on this with the same, you know,
reverence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
It'll be. I'll be real interested to see if it like does kind of like have this garner this like weird like this. It's considered like this almost. It's not underground, but it's like ultimately considered kind of like an underground classic in a sense.
Yeah.
Like later on down the road, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like a cult following.
So yeah.
Well, and it was. I feel like for something like that to come out after the year that the Avengers, year that, you know, all these different Marvel movies came out, and really like, you know, now that that's all kind of done, like I feel like it as odd of a time as it was, like for something like this, I feel like this made a lot of sense to happen, because it was a pretty different like style movie in terms of, you know,
in this genre for sure. It's the first one like it in the superhero genre by far.
Yeah,
definitely. I
hope that because I don't know if they played the same Harley Quinn trailer.
Yeah, Birds of Prey. Yeah.
I kind of like as over that story as I kind of am, and as over that character as I kind of am at this point. Like I kind of hope that that's decent.
Oh, I'm gonna watch it. I'll watch her play Harley Quinn. I just like her playing it.
Yeah.
She does a really good job.
Yeah.
I like the voice that she uses. That Mr. J.
Yeah.
Fucking every time she says Mr. J, I love that, because like that's brings me right back to 1994 watching. Oh, Mr. J. Oh, Harley. You know what I mean? Like, oh God, I love that cartoon so much.
It's. I mean, if ever there was going to be somebody to like do it and like, you know, have it be like as true to the source as it is, like
she kills it.
Yeah.
And there are some fun things that they do. There's okay, put it this way. There's fun things that they did in Suicide Squad that they could do in this, and that's like you could have her in multiple different costumes from throughout the comics and stuff like that. Like show me some of the old costumes and like, you know, do some cool shit like that. Like I'm gonna see it. It looked good enough for me to go, yeah, I'm gonna watch that. And I like her as Harley enough, and I love the character of Harley Quinn enough to where I'm like, yeah, I'll watch that.
It had a real like Deadpool feel to it.
Kinda.
You know?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
I feel like, because I wasn't a big fan of Suicide Squad, and I know that it was kind of it was kind of more of like a polarizing movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like had it had a little more time and had it come out at a different point where because I feel like they were trying to compete with what Marvel was doing, and it kind of fell flat.
Oh yeah.
Like actually, it really fell flat to me. But
if that movie had come out like in a year where like nothing else really was coming out, then it would have probably done a lot better. Yeah, I agree. And we would have remembered it more fondly. I think we wouldn't have been comparing it to other things as much. Yeah, but it was all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of like this one. It's like there were things I liked and there were things I didn't like. So, yeah. But all in all.
Oh yeah.
What's the next movie you're excited for? I don't even know. Oh, Star Wars.
Yeah.
I want to see Star Wars really bad. I'm excited for Star Wars. That's it.
I think
it's the only one I know of.
Yeah.
For the rest of the year. Yeah, for the rest of the year, I believe. No more superhero movies for sure.
Yeah. What's the next Star Wars movie? It's
December.
No.
Oh, what's it called?
Skywalker.
The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, I think.
Looking
and the
forward to
next,
that one.
I'm really excited for the next trailer. I've been hearing things about the next trailer, and I hear it's gonna be like it's like the trailers get ratings. Like we don't know that because we're not, you know what I mean. But behind the scenes, a trailer gets a rating before it gets released.
Yeah.
This trailer is like the highest rating that any Star Wars trailer has ever been. And what I mean by that is like low being G, high being X. So it's like and the reason cited is violence. So apparently it's the most violent Star Wars trailer ever. According to that.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But
I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing.
Other than like, there is, what is this? Dr. Sleep?
I don't know. Do not know.
God.
You know what? Oh wait, did you watch Breaking Bad?
I was about to talk about that.
4 more days, bitch. Oh, it's like a sequel to The Shining. That's right. I don't know anything about that. I heard, now that you show me that, I remember like Rogan mentioning it on an episode months and months and months ago or something, like, just some loose connection in the brain.
But more importantly, only because I watched the trailer last night, El Camino. Like
that trailer, dude, I was shaking.
Yeah.
Shaking the whole time. Like, oh.
Yeah.
Because I just rewatched it. Breaking Bad, top to bottom, all 5 seasons.
Nice.
And because I finished that earlier than I thought I would, I started up Better Call Saul because I never watched that before. I watched the first few episodes when it first came out, and I was like, not that into it.
I want more Breaking Bad.
I sat down and started binging it.
Yeah.
I ate through 3 seasons like it was water. It's so good, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, the show's called Better Call Saul, but it's honestly just as much about Saul as it is about Mike Ehrmantraut, the hitman guy.
Yeah.
Just as much about him as it is Saul. So those 2 stories combining, fucking, you get Gus Fring, Los Polos Hermanos. Fucking, you get
R.I.P.
You get Tuco. You get Hector Salamanca, the guy in the wheelchair. Fucking before he's in the wheelchair, you see how he ends up in the wheelchair. Dude, man, it's
I'll have to watch
real
that.
good. And here's the kicker, though. Here's what pissed me off. I'm like, the show's only 3. I was on Netflix. I was like, the show's only 3 seasons long. It must be over because the last season came out like a long time ago on there. I was like, it must be over. I'll watch this before El Camino. See if there's any references in El Camino or anything. Got through all 3 seasons and it ended on a giant cliffhanger. And I was like, this show's not over, is it? Looked it up. Nope. There's a 4th season not on Netflix and season 5 comes out next year. I went, son of a bitch. So I ate through season 4. I got like 2 or 3 episodes left of season 4 to watch. And then I got to wait for 5. Like, fucking asshole. I hate waiting. I always wait till the end so I can just binge it all.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing with American Horror Story this year. Because I'm probably not even going to get past the first 3 episodes when I binge.
Yeah.
Like the last few seasons.
I want to, like, I know we've been back and forth about it on the show and everything, but, like, I feel like just to have, like, reference and just to, like, I don't know, just to kind of see, because, like, every season, whether or not I like it or not, has its cool moments.
Of American Horror Story, yeah.
And I feel like because I think the last, I don't even know what season they're on. Was it 9?
Fuck if I know. I have no idea.
I think the last 2, the last one I remember like watching halfway through was Roanoke.
I watched all of Roanoke, yeah.
Never finished that one.
Terrible.
It's kind of weird. And the one after that.
Don't know what came after that. The last
Cold?
one, might have been.
Yeah.
There was Cult and then Apocalypse and then this one.
Oh yeah, so I never saw any of those.
I never finished Cult. It was I just was bored. I don't know. I just didn't like it. Yeah. Apocalypse, I did finish it, but I didn't really care for it. The last one I remember like liking at all was Hotel.
That was
Hotel was solid.
Yeah.
But God, it's just so because they just started so fucking strong. Like those first 2 seasons are some of the greatest ever made.
Yeah.
Ever. And that's why I still go back, is because those 2 were still so good even to this day. Man.
How deep into the season are they? The new
Pretty
one?
deep. It started in September, so 3-4 episodes, 5 maybe. If you can, tell me when the last episode airs. When can I start watching?
In season 9, looks like.
Okay. It's Friday the 13th. That's what this season is. It's Jason, except his name is Mr. Jingles, killing kids at a summer camp.
What? Really?
Yeah. You didn't see that? That's the trailer. Yeah.
I knew it was like a...
Mr. Jingles broke out of the hospital, so they're coming to kill all the kids at like camp something.
That's the name they went with, huh?
Yep. No, the name of the... Oh, yeah, that's the name of the killer. Yeah. Mr. Jingles. And Twisty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. All they have is episode 5.
They don't show when the rest are coming out?
Not on this.
For sure. So they're up to 5? Okay.
Let me see if...
So hopefully it's like a 10... If it's like a 10-episode season, it should be done by like right at the end of October. That would line up nicely.
September... What's the last aired November 20th? Wait, what? Oh, so it's ending on November 20th. It started in September.
Shit. Okay.
So there's 10 episodes. So they're about halfway through it right now.
Yeah.
So
interesting. See, that's the other thing is this season, none of my favorite actors are on it.
That's
none.
It bums me out, man.
All of my favorites left.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's another reason why I haven't had real strong interest in diving right in yet.
None of like the staple characters. Nobody like even remotely recognizable.
No, yeah, there are.
Are there?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, there's some that have been on since like almost every season since Coven. But yeah, like no Jessica Lange, no Sarah Paulson, and no Evan Peters.
See, like
those are my 3 heroes.
Yeah, they were like the 3 that like like I gotta like they're
I don't care really what's happening. I just need to see their performance in the scene because they're just so fucking good. Yeah, absolutely. But oh well, that's okay. We have El Camino in 3 days.
Yes,
I'm because that shit should drop. If I don't know, it's Netflix. Maybe they'll set the time up differently. I don't know. But usually when stuff on Netflix comes out, it comes out Eastern time, 3 a.m.
Yeah.
So 3 a.m. Friday morning, Thursday night. I'm going to be up, my friend, watching that shit.
Yeah.
You can bet on it.
I gotta get caught up. I don't, because I finished it when the show was all wrapped up and stuff. Like, I think like maybe like a year or so after it finished. So I watched it, and then like I haven't really watched it since. So.
There are lists of episodes to watch before El Camino. You could look that up and watch those, because I don't necessarily recommend starting from the beginning, because you will get sucked back down a fucking ride of intensity. I love that fucking show so goddamn much, dude. It is so fucking good, so addictive. Like just whole time, just white knuckle.
Maybe I should rewatch it. Then.
It's so fucking good. It's unbelievable. Yeah. It's so good. All right, you want to wrap this one up? Got anything else?
I don't think so.
No.
I can.
All right.
Off the top of my head.
Fuck yeah. All right.
Other than like, I mean, so this is gonna be the last one here, isn't it? As far as
it could be the last episode in this crypt, yes.
Yeah.
I haven't moved to the crypt yet. I've moved, but I haven't moved to the crypt yet, and because I want to leave it set up for another review. But for now, this weekend, hopefully, we'll get things set up to where I'll be able to move this, and then episode 100. This is episode 99.
It's crazy.
99.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ. 99 episodes. Well,
started here.
Started here, right here.
Yeah.
Yep. New chapter, new phase, new growth. See where this road takes us. All new things.
But other than that, I guess not really. Nothing I can think of.
We started over there.
Yeah. Yep.
Like the desk was set up over there. Like it wasn't even. Jesus.
One microphone.
No mixer. one laptop for sound, one laptop for looking shit up.
Yep.
One microphone, and that was it. And now, fuck. At least we sound a lot better. Shit. We sound a lot better than that first one. So I'll give us that much at least. God damn. It's been almost 2 years. Yep. It's coming up on 2 years. Jesus Christ. All right, everyone. Well, if you have listened to any of these 99 episodes, we thank you from the absolute bottom of our hearts. You are everything. You mean the world. And, be sure to follow Bogwraith on fucking Twitch, Bandcamp, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Patreon. All of that.
Make sure.
iTunes.
We're we're gonna be posting some pretty different stuff coming up here, hopefully in the next few months. So
next few months.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot more. We're gonna try to focus a lot more on videos and content and stuff, and doing more live streaming stuff. So definitely, check that out. Pay attention to it.
It's always fun for a metal band to drop something on Halloween. Just saying.
Maybe have something.
Especially a band called Bog Race.
Of
swamp beasts.
maybe possibly look out for something kind of,
just something
happening that day. Possibly. I don't know.
We'll see. Okay. Just saying. But yeah, follow them on everything. Follow Aaron. Aaron's got his own fucking YouTube page and Instagram. What's your YouTube called?
I think it's just my name. So
AA Ron Gray.
Yeah.
Gray.
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta get a better name for it. I gotta get an actual like
stage name or something.
A
channel title.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Like Beats from the Swamp, something like that. But yeah, follow him on everything, and yeah, his Aaron_BW I think is his Instagram. Follow him on there too.
Yep.
Post some drumming videos. And then, yeah, do the same. Follow us on all the fun stuff. And that's going to be about it. Thank you so much for listening. Episode 99 in the books. Episode 100 coming next week. Raise your fucking horns. Bang your goddamn heads. I love you all to death. Good night.